Hey guys, it's Justin, aka Hambone, just here to let you know a couple of things that we have going on with the channel. One, we have a Patreon. If you can and want to support us, you can do that. As little as $1. You can join the Discord. We also have a merch store where you can get some cool shirts, mugs, and stuff with all of our different shows and labels on there. And thank you for all of our supporters that have already been there with us.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Starting 11 here on the Let's Get Ready Network. I'm Adelia, that's my buddy Snark, and today we are here to talk about the week that was in the English Premier League, and unfortunately some other stuff that made us both a little angry about the week that was in the English Premier League.
Snark, really not much to talk about. Not much to talk about this week at all. No, another week derived of controversy and of officials bullshit here in the English Premier League. But we could talk about it. We're going to talk about it later on because I'm going to get angry about this. I've already decided. When I was just doing this, I was like, I'm just going to get angry about this. And I don't want to lose train of thought. There were some good matches that happened this week.
There were.
Yeah. There's so much odd scheduling coming up. So this week we have not one but two Man U and Leeds matches. One was
that was weird.
We have games coming up in the next week where your team has to face another team.
Yeah.
And then you have to play like 3 days later. Like, and you have the morning game too. So, yeah, you guys got to play a bit, and you guys are going to be in a bit of a pinch for it now because of some things that happened on the weekend, but we'll get to that. So, we're going to start off. We're going to go all the way back to last week. I think it was Wednesday. Man U plays a newly rudderless Leeds team.
Just off firing Jesse Marsch.
Yeah, they get to go on Wednesday. They get to go to Old Trafford, and they put up a fight. First half, they were fantastic. They even went up. They were up 2-0, but I think it was like the second minute of the second half. That weird one goes in off the Man U defender went in and whatever. But Marcus Rashford scores because that's what he does. And then I think who was it? Sancho. Sancho draws them level and stuff like that. So Man U battles to get a valuable point when they could have dropped 3 to Leeds, who had nothing going for them except a really good first half. And then, unfortunate for them, you just saw the quality start to dip or whatever in the second half and couldn't manage it. But Man U only getting 1 point helps out the current leaders in the table. Man U's making a real good push up the standings lately.
Yep.
Hard to believe. Still hard to believe this is the same team that I was giving so much shit to when we first started the show.
I mean, they got rid of Ronaldo at the World Cup break, and they've been a different team ever since.
Ten Hag knows what he's doing. I guess you have to fight the board. But he finally gets his way. He gets rid of a guy that did not fit on his team, either on the pitch or off. And it's cleaned up. And you're seeing guys come in now, like Marcus Rashford, 12 goals this year. The Sancho goal was fine. Garnacho, not the best game before, but coming up in this week, he was really good. So Manchester United gets their point. They keep getting positive results, which is
they do. It's annoying.
Shame. It's a shame. It's a real shame. Fulham and Forest also played.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Fulham wins 2-0. Willian scores. It's always
It's
nice
a good goal that Willian scored as well.
It was a cracking goal. Nice job of getting into the spot. Yeah, he was all over the place and good. He was putting the ball into good spots and stuff like that. Mitrovic couldn't close. That Solomon goal was there's some real good passing to go along with that. Just finding him wide open in the box. There's nothing, if he would have missed from there, it probably would have been arrested.
Fulham are a good team.
They're good.
Yeah,
I
they're not
think
great,
yeah,
but they're good.
yeah, they're good. You look at this team and you, it's kind of funny to think, how were they good? The goaltending, but yeah, everything's been fine. The goaltending's been fine. Mitrovic, like before the World Cup, anyways, fantastic. Since the World Cup, he's been
Yeah,
fine. Williams picked it up lately, and considering his age and stuff like that, it's surprising, but I like seeing it. Even though he scored against Chelsea a week or so ago, couple weeks ago, it's fine. But you don't ever want to see ex Chelsea guys do poorly. But yeah, they're just fine. I think they're a team that can always compete for sixth.
yeah,
I don't see them ever getting European football. I
yeah. I don't
If
think
they
they'll
did,
get Europe.
it would be very surprising if they did, ever, like ever. I'm not
Yeah,
just talking this year, Fulham. I'm talking ever. Craven's Cottage. Oh my god. Uh, okay. So yeah, that was a result. Next, Wolverhampton. Speaking of results, more positive results for the Wolverhampton Wanderers, and
yeah.
since Lopetegui's taken charge, what a difference! What a like a it's a puts
Big
just a
difference.
breath of fresh air into that club. I'd like to say it's because of Diego Costa. It certainly is not. It's not
No, it's not.
because of Diego Costa at all. Uh, but they were down. They were down in this game, 1-0. The guy calling bank. It was Alcaraz. Alcaraz calling bank, puts it off the post, and the straddles the line,
Yeah,
goes in, which was a nice
and
goal. It was a
then
nice goal.
they went down a man.
Did you see how they went down a man?
I
Do you know
did.
how? Okay, so he's already on a yellow card for it was for legit. It was a bad tackle. He had a bad tackle. He's down. He had a yellow card. Now something happens in the lead up. Southampton coming back down again, and there's a foul called. Two guys come in to argue the call, and yells something. He was in the box. He was coming over. He wasn't, jumping up and down and raising his fist. He just says something to him. The guy looks at him dead in the eye, just gives him a yellow card and a red
Yeah.
card. Oh my goodness! And
What did he say?
yeah. There's there's things I think it was in was that movie Major League? Was it no Bull Durham? There's things that you say to managers and stuff like that that kick you out. But he looks so calm. He looks so calm. There's no
Yeah,
way
he
he said
doesn't
the
look.
things that he should have said.
Yeah, yeah. He
Like
doesn't look super upset. He's not waving for a card for anyone. He's not doing anything. He's just,
he does the same thing every player does on every
yeah,
foul they think somebody is either missed or have been judged unfairly. He comes in the box like this, and then a couple of guys are coming. He keeps walking up. And this guy, I can't remember who the ref is. I'm not going to look it up. There's been enough problems with refs this week. Just
yeah,
yellow card, red card, and puts him down. So you're thinking, whoa. Well, so much for Wolves. And Southampton, like to their credit, we're playing fair. Also to their credit, they came after Wolves after that. They were going for it. They were really trying to get that second goal. Except okay, a ball's being played into the box, and oh gosh, who was it that? Who was that? I can't remember who actually gets credit for the goal, but he puts it in towards the net, and poor Jan Badacek gets it caught up in his feet in one of the clumsiest own goals I've ever saw. It's like he fought himself for 3 seconds and eventually just walked into the net with a goal between his legs.
yeah,
Unbelievable. And then Jan Gomes comes back 3 minutes later, puts it away. They've just been getting the breaks. Since the World Cup, they've been getting breaks. The Wolverhampton Wanderers, well, except for in the FA Cup, but we don't talk about the FA Cup. In the
yeah.
FA Cup, they got screwed.
They did
Screwed
get
by
screwed.
what?
Yeah.
What did they get screwed by? Was it video assisted referee? Maybe.
Might just be.
Well, anyways, afterwards, Southampton can't beat a team down a man with a lead, so they get rid of Nathan Jones. They're
We hardly knew him.
their second managerial canning of the year. And
He got what, 3 months?
he got 14 games. He won 5 of the 14 games. Replacing, and I can't wait because we thought we may have never said this name again after he was let go. Ralph Hasenhüttl.
Yeah.
One of my favorites to say. I don't even know if it's right. I just like saying it like that.
I think it's close if it's not.
Now,
yeah, Southampton's a mess. They're definitely probably going down this year. Oh, I know.
That's a terrible shame. Yeah, terrible shame for the Saints. Now, weird. They're looking at Jesse Marsch maybe to come in and take over. Jesse Marsch, I think, is the number one guy on their list.
I mean, Jesse Marsch has a system, and if you buy into the system, it might work.
The system is hire all the American players.
Yeah.
That will be the system. More Yanks. But we can talk about the McKenzie and stuff like that later for Leeds. I thought he played well. I thought when McKennie played well in both Leeds matches actually. So it wasn't his fault. It's just
no.
Jesse Marsch can beat Chelsea, just can't beat anybody else. Now, another odd result. It's Bournemouth and Newcastle can't get it done again. Only getting 1 point.
Another draw for Newcastle.
Yeah,
this was their 11th draw of the season.
It's like Chelsea.
Half of the games that they've played have been draws.
You don't like to drop points. It's always good to get a result, but they were on fire and they were looking like they could challenge for the Premiership this year. But just the way they were going. Then the World Cup hits. And it just seems everything that was building, all that momentum just stalled. And January it's boring. They're playing boring football. It's like it's like they bought into their hype. They had so much going into their heads, and I'll say it like this: I love Almiron. He scored a nice goal. He scored a goal for them. It was nice. But where has he been? Like we used to talk about him every week.
He has been pretty absent the last few weeks.
Yeah. Just no spark there. Like, do you think there's a legit chance they're going to drop out of Champions League spots?
I mean, it depends on Spurs, really.
Who have not been great, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, we will get to that.
But I'm thinking above that. I'm thinking of a team like Brighton. Brighton,
I think Brighton, depending on how things go, Brighton, I think, has a real chance to end up in a European spot.
Yeah, I just really like the way they've gone. It's almost like they've had the cuffs removed and then aren't playing nice anymore, and they're playing to win.
Yeah.
I wonder where they got that not so nice, that, easy to play against mentality from. We'll talk about it.
Newcastle's record is 10 wins, 11 draws, and 1 loss. They've only lost once, but it feels like they've lost more than once this season.
They've lost a lot of points they should have had. They've lost a lot of 2 points. Like dropping 2 points here. What was the result the week before? It wasn't great. Like it's just not coming together for them. Yeah, they dropped 2 points against West Ham.
Yeah.
West Ham. Imagine dropping points.
But we'll get to that.
Against West Ham.
We will get to that.
And Crystal Palace. Like in Crystal Palace the week before, they couldn't even score. So they're just in a bad run. You gotta make sure you get an extra goal against sometimes. And again, they're still a young club. Newcastle is young, and they got money. So we'll see what kind of changes they can make in the offseason. I think they've got a real good manager. I think that they've got a lot of pieces in place. I'm not so sure about maybe their goaltending defense could be a little bit better, but
I think that with Newcastle, it might be too early for them to be in the position they've been in all season.
Right.
I think the squad doesn't have enough depth. I mean, They don't really have a backup striker anymore because they sold, Chris Wood to wherever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them keeping this pace up.
Yeah. Well, you'd figure they'd catch their breath because they haven't been pushing the play for the last however many weeks. But we'll see.
Yeah.
There's still time for them to turn things around and start getting results. But yeah, it's been poor. Like it's been genuinely poor. Speaking of poor, let's talk about my favorite result of the entire week: the Leicester Foxes of all goddamn
This is great.
teams taking the Tottenham Hotspur out behind the woodshed, give them a damn good spanking, 4-1, and they
That
had the
first
first goal.
half, Tottenham scored first and then gave up 4 goals. I will say for Tottenham that they did have Fraser Forster in goal instead of Hugo Lloris in this game. That was probably part of this. But another observation I had is Antonio Conte not on the bench coaching the team. Last week they beat Man City. This week he's back and they're losing 4-1 to Leicester. I thought that was pretty amusing.
Oh, too bad. Oh, it's Antonio Conte.
This was the first half. The first half of this game might be my favorite non-Arsenal first half or half of football this entire season.
Nice. That Mendy goal was nice. Madison nice. Scoring like 2 minutes later.
That Mendy goal, I believe they said, was only his second goal ever in his professional career.
It could be.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. Good time to get more. Nacho, another goal before the half ends, and I think who is it? Barnes, maybe. I think Barnes scores
Barnes
the late one or whatever.
Half.
But
yeah,
Tottenham did not put up a fight. They had a couple of chances. There was no fight in them. I love that.
Tottenham were so anemic and just there. They weren't. More Tottenham performances like this, please.
Yeah, continue the poor run of form, please. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoy seeing Harry Kane with his head down. I love things like that. It makes my awful heart happy.
Tottenham, of course, also losing Rodrigo Bentancur to an ACL injury for the rest of the year. So,
oh well,
yeah,
they can go get somebody, right? Oh, they can't. Oh, they can't do that. Yeah. So again, I'm an awful person, Adelia, for getting my joy from seeing the Spuds get the piss beat out of them. But I've come to accept myself. I have. I love it.
I thoroughly enjoy every time Tottenham gets embarrassed, so I understand.
The next game was the rematch. Leeds, Man United. And Leeds, again, they played well for like an hour.
They did, man. Tyler Adams and Weston McKennie got stuck in some challenges in that first half.
Lots of chances, couldn't convert.
Yeah.
You guys got to score your goals when you come to them, especially a team again like Manchester, or then because they have somebody who's going to change the game, and he does.
Yeah.
It's Rashford again. This time
Marcus Rashford cannot stop scoring.
Someone has to mark. There was 3 guys in the box. There was one Leeds guy. Like, what?
Yeah, then, it was not good marking.
Let's just get it to the guy who can jump the highest and has a header that comes off the head like a goddamn fastball and a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Boom, it's in the net. Boom, in the net. Yeah. Guys, you cannot not mark Marcus Rashford. You have to do everything you can to keep him out of the box. You have to have 2 guys on him. I don't care if you have 3 guys on him. You can't be up the field and leave Marcus Rashford alone inside your box. He was going to score. He was going to score all day. And then, and then, like I was saying before, Garancho finally showing like this kid has polish. He's going to be good. He's so fast. Scores a nice goal. He scores the next goal like 5 minutes afterwards and put it away. And so Leeds play, say 90, 150, 160 real good minutes against United. Get 1 point out of it. It's unlucky. They should have maybe had 2 against them at that game at Trafford, but Manchester United just shows how much quality they have, and Marcus Rashford just unstoppable. Again, another World Cup story. Come back from the World Cup, and he is unstoppable. I don't get
Yep.
it. Good
I
for
don't
him.
like it.
Yeah, good for him. It doesn't mean a huge fan of it. But well, anyways, we're moving on. We're coming close to the garbage here. We're coming close to garbage time. City 3, Villa 1, and it looks like, speaking of shine, maybe the shine is starting to come off Unai Emery's Villa squad here.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's a little more like Gerard's Villa squad in this game than Emery's Villa squad so
yeah,
far.
yeah, that first half was just an absolute
It was
domination.
awful.
It was an absolute domination. They get 3 goals. They get the one back in the second half, so it really didn't matter.
It didn't
Um,
matter.
no. Let's talk. Okay, it's great. Man City's in form, and with the result that happened before this, they're only 3 points outside of first, going
Yep, we'll get
into
to that result in a minute.
the biggest, maybe the biggest match in the Premier League this year. I would say it's absolutely, that's what it is. Battle for
Yeah.
first midweek for no reason, except for the queen gets buried and it gets put off for 5 months or whatever it is. But
Yeah.
where's Erling Haaland?
He has disappeared since the World Cup break.
Now, he had a real good pass to get the ball to Gundogan for his goal, but he isn't creating like he did. He's not pushing the play. He isn't taking on tacklers. Makes me think, like, is there some kind of injury? Is there
He
just
is
something that?
injured. He got
Yeah.
subbed off at halftime because of an injury, and he's a doubt for the game in midweek against Arsenal.
Well, that's a huge break. Now, but this is this something that's been nagging him for the last 4 weeks, 5 weeks?
I have no idea. All that Guardiola has said is that he has a kick.
Yeah, I like how I like their words. It's kick or it's knock.
Yeah, knock
means the
makes
same
more
thing.
sense to me than a kick. I guess the doctors at halftime said don't take any more risks with it in that game, and we'll see. But Pep did say that if the game was tighter than 3-0 at halftime, he might have left him on.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure why. Again, he isn't pushing the play. He isn't challenging. Like, he should be having 2, 3 guys come to him just because he has the ball. He's so enormous and can do so much with it. He should be sucking people in like a black hole and leaving other spaces open. And it's just not happening. When he got the ball or whatever, was off a clearance and stuff like that, he had it in the corner or whatever, and then he found a Gundogan who was unmarked again. Like, and nobody dared to play the ball as it was coming across. It was weird. It was an odd goal.
From Villa.
Yeah.
I knew something was up with Haaland though when Mahrez took the penalty, because Haaland's their designated penalty taker.
Yeah.
I was like, this is interesting. Why is Mahrez taking this? And
he's been in real good form though. He has been in real good form, and he took that penalty against Chelsea in the FA Cup. I know that. So I think he took one of their last penalties. So yeah, maybe could be maybe something. Then when you're looking at that, you're thinking maybe it's a plant foot problem for Haaland. So he just can't get power off his strikes because something maybe with his hip, maybe something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was reading that Pep said Rodri got involved in basically convincing Haaland and Mahrez to let Mahrez take the penalty.
Bizarre.
Yeah, it's
bizarre.
Weird.
Yeah, odd. Anyways, here's another note I had. Does anybody in the in the Premier League get fouled more than Jack Grealish? He seems to get the shit kicked out of him.
Maybe Bukayo Saka.
Maybe. Yeah, he seems to be on the pitch a lot, and a lot of it, I can go on forever saying like he's always looking for a call. It's true, he is. Most players are, but he seems like he takes an awful pounding out there every week.
Yeah, he does get fouled a lot. Yeah,
guy who was the transfer money all-time champion until last week. Okay, and we got today's match. It's Liverpool and Everton, and Everton crashing back to earth after that shocking result last week. I can't remember who it was against.
I can.
Oh, you can't remember? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, beat Arsenal last week.
Yeah.
Get the derby, the Merseyside derby this time, in Anfield,
And
and
Anfield. Yeah.
it was never close. Um, I thought Darwin Nunez looked very good, and this is the first time I can say that Darwin Nunez has looked very good in the league, maybe this
Yeah.
entire year.
Yeah. Cody
That
Gakpo gets his first goal.
that pass that Nunez makes to Salah to get that goal
That was
was
great too.
impressive. It was really impressive. Now so yeah, no problems for them at all. But like at the 87th minute, for some reason, Robertson, the defender, the wing is way up front or whatever, fouls the guy to bring him around, keeps going after the whistle's gone, takes 7-8 more steps and puts it at net. Misses wide because he's shitty. Jordan Pickford takes offense to that, runs up, shoves him outside the box. Even he runs up and shoves him. Starts a melee, and then, there's a couple of guys from the pitch, but it's mostly the bench guys. Like, what's Virgil van Dijk doing? He's right in there.
Like, why is this happening?
It was a shit show.
It was terrible.
2 yellow cards handed out. You figure all the people coming off the bench to fight, the 2 yellow cards go to Robertson and Pickford. Which, the Pickford one's deserved. The Rockford one's deserved.
Yeah.
You know what also is it's strange. So he pushes him or whatever, and then he starts laughing. That Robertson starts laughing. Like, like, what are you gonna do? He's just a wee little guy. And one of the one of the Everton guys go and grab him. Like you'd figure it's like, you try that again, kind of stuff. Don't mess with our goal. And when he's doing it, it sounded like he's caressing his face. Like, what? Is that a thing in Europe? It's like,
I don't know.
I'm either gonna give you a sweet, sweet kiss on the lips, or I'm gonna punch you in the face. I couldn't understand it. I thought it was kind of funny. It was bizarre. I don't get that. When he's telling, you could read lips pretty clearly what he was saying to him, and it wasn't very nice. No. It's not something you should say when you're around the playground. I can tell you that, folks. Anyways, so that's it. That's all the matches we'll talk about.
No, that's not, unfortunately.
Okay. So there's 3 more matches.
I say we start with the Brighton.
Let's
match and go from there.
Yeah. John Brooks was the guy I had a VAR in this one. Now, of these next 3 matches, the PMGOL apologize for 2 of them.
Yes. All right. I was surprised it was only the 2 of them.
They did not apologize for the Chelsea thing. In fact, one asshole even backed it up. We'll get to it. Okay, the PMGOL, I believe, is professional match officials or official game, something, blah 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 blah. Anyways, it's the referees.
Hang on, it's right here in my notes. I wrote it down because it's dumb. It is the Professional Game Match Officials Limited.
Right, limited. Like they're a business. Oh my god!
It is the body responsible for match officials across English football.
Okay.
It is headed up by Howard Webb.
Yeah.
Good old Howard Webb.
You heard his name a lot over the last few days, depending on where you were looking for information. Okay, we'll start with the Brighton match. Palace Brighton draw. Okay. Brighton were terrific.
Yes.
Like all the way through the 30 minutes. Yeah. They put in or Estevania comes in the 31st minute and looks like he scores.
Mm-hmm.
Except a VAR rule, he was offside. They rule he was offside because they draw the line on the wrong defender.
Yes.
So They draw the
Not
line to the
not
guy
only on
next to him.
not only on the second to last defender, but the third to last defender.
Unbelievable. It was
Yeah.
unbelievable. It's like, oh, sorry, what? Like
Yeah,
they just decided to find the one guy on the pitch where he could be offside against.
I've seen the image that's going around of the offside line that they drew.
Mm-hmm.
How did they miss this?
Guys, look down that line, you sons of bitches. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So they get a goal taken from them. Solly March again scores. One of my favorite names, as you well know, Solly March. But Palace to tie it. That's on the goaltender though. Gaida just makes an absolute mess of that ball and lets it drop to his feet and stuff like that. And Tompkins, I believe, puts it in. But it's unforgivable. Like, okay, that's unforgivable. Like, why is VAR a thing? Why is this a thing? What are you guys doing up there? It makes no sense. This isn't the first game of the year, and this isn't VAR first being trotted out. This is what, the 20th week of matches this year, something like that. So they've had that. They've had last year. They should know. They have to know. Why don't they just count where all the players are first? Like, you have all this technology. You have 3-4 minutes to call it. Take the time. Count. Say, where could this possibly, not to say how to take the goal away, but how to award it. Like, it's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable,
It's so
unexcusable result. John Brooks, and I believe he was, I'm trying to remember correctly, but I believe he was the one who was supposed to look at the Arsenal Man City game.
He was supposed to be the VAR for Liverpool, Everton, and Arsenal Man City, and they took him off both of them.
They took him off. Now, are they going to fire him? No. They won't fire him. He'll be back doing something somehow, because this is the English Premier League, and that's how they do things. They let shitty people be shitty. They just switch it around, kind of like the Catholic Church. All right, let's talk about my match. The match I was most invested in. Chelsea, yet another draw against a poor, inferior team. This time in the East London derby, or an East London team in a London derby. Team I personally hate very, very much. And West Ham. Now, we get João Felix back. He only got to play 60 minutes the first time before getting sent off for one of the worst sliding tackles I've ever seen in my life.
Deservedly sent off for that.
Oh yeah, there was no questioning that. That was terrible. He deserved to go. Straight red. You're gone for 3. Now, he's back. And he's with Enzo Fernandez, and we have all these players. For some reason, even though in the lead up to the match, Graham Potter says that Cucurella is having a bad time right now. He can't, but we support him and stuff like that. Puts him in the starting 11 again. Chelsea just paid how much money to get Mykhailo Mudryk into the squad? He plays on that side. Cucurella can't pass the ball forward.
No.
It's like he has an allergy. It's like someone has a little hypnotist thing and said, you're not allowed to pass it forward. Something in his head mentally blocks that, and he'll go backwards. He will back pass so much. If he has 4 options, forward, and then the goalkeeper, he's going to go goalkeeper. I have no understanding how this man's brain works for football. It is cowardly. He works like a coward. You got to give it to people that can create. Like, Chelsea is just missing creation. They have no imagination. It's because you have guys like goddamn Cucurella passing it back to the goddamn goalkeeper. But we'll get on. There's more. There's more to this. It gets worse for Chelsea. But that goal, like, if I don't know if, like, João Felix isn't. There was a no buy option on his transfer, so chances are, well, legally he has to go back to Atletico when the season's over. Doesn't mean that someone can't go and pay for him, it doesn't mean he can't be bought. There's a very good chance he can be bought. Chelsea has proven when you want somebody, you just go get him. But it means anybody could. Man, you, Arsenal, us. There's a lot of people kind of sniffing around João Felix, which is unfortunate because you see what Enzo Fernandez can do with a guy like João Felix, and that pass that just puts the ball over right onto the boot as it's coming forward for the goal. There's just automatic chemistry with these two. It looked fantastic. Chelsea had two other goals called off by offside. One very close, would have been Felix's second goal. I thought it was a good goal. Most people say no, it was probably offside. So I swallow my pride and I say, okay, fine. We had a one goal lead. And then, just a couple of minutes later, Havertz will go around the goaltender and score. And it'll get called back as offside. But this one was legit. Yeah, I had no problem with that. But, it still hurt. And then because Chelsea does this, another set piece, Emerson comes in. Former Chelsea man, Emerson Palmeiro, and ties it. Now, he was on Kukureya's side, but there were guys like Reece James there just standing and watching. Again, It's just people just not engaged. They have to be engaged for 90 minutes, and and at the weird side, how do you take off a set piece? You have a specific job. You train for this all week. How do you just take that moment off? I will never understand. But let's go to the second half. And there's a little bastard named Thomas Suchek. Now, he ends up scoring a goal late in the 83rd or 84th minute. Now, VAR calls down to the ref, says, you may want to take a look at this. You look at it, and everyone who looks at this knows he's offside. He's clearly offside. They took 4.5 minutes to judge it. They tried everything to make sure he was onside. They went out of their way to make sure it was onside. Let's flip to moments after this from the re-kick. Conor Gallagher gets the ball. He's near the box, just outside the box, has a clear path at goal. It's Conor Gallagher, so you know the shot isn't going to be terrific for whatever reason. Puts it on goal. Suchek drops himself to the ground. His hand goes out to grasp the ball. He makes a terrific save. The problem is he's a defender. He's not allowed to touch the ball, especially in the box. That's a penalty. Except if you play at Chelsea, I guess, because the VAR, like no penalty given. VAR check it and agree. They agree. Somewhere, the referees have fallen in love with this idea of bracing to the ground. Of course, this is after Chelsea had already had a penalty called against them for doing this exact thing earlier in the year. Now, when he's going to the ground, to brace yourself is fine. To brace yourself while going to get the ball first is not fine. It's not fine. That's a penalty. I've been on YouTube all day trying to find one person. One person. I've been going to Arsenal podcasts. I've been going to Tottenham podcasts. Find one person that says that's not a penalty. There isn't. Everybody knows it's a penalty. How does the fucking VAR officials come back and back it up? How do you back it up? You've already admitted to mistakes. You guys know you make mistakes. You guys made plenty of them this week. We're going to talk about another egregious one right away. But how do you how in the world do you have that much confidence in yourself to say, no, we were right. Everybody else in the world is wrong. We were right. We got it right.
Yeah.
Horse shit you did.
It's so bad. It's such a clear penalty. It is so clear.
You know what this thing is? I don't know if we would have scored. I don't know. Just the way we've been allergic of net.
But you should have at least had the chance to.
We deserved the chance. We deserved the chance to take the lead.
Yeah.
That's it. It was taken from us. That was egregiously taken from us. And the fact that they fucking backed him up and said, "Oh no, you got the call right," is fucking horseshit. It's horseshit.
VAR
Guys,
was so bad this week.
what they've done is they've allowed players to now drop to block shots. They've now created 4 to 5 more goaltenders a game. All they have to do is say they were dropping down to protect themselves. That's all they have to do. They've made it legal. They fucked it.
Yeah.
However, 150 years of fucking football to do that. To protect what? West Ham? And Thomas Suchek? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It gets worse.
It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was talking to you on Saturday, and I had to go back and I had to rewatch most of the next set of matches, which are most of the matches of the day. Thank goodness I got Fubo here in Canada, because I can just scroll ahead by minutes and stuff like that, and I can go back if I miss them. I go back, but I can just go, okay, I can skip 30 seconds, I can skip a minute, I can see blah 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 blah, skip the half times. You can actually go through games pretty damn fast. Now, Fubo, not a sponsor, guys, not a sponsor, but yeah, it's
if they want to be a sponsor, we'd be fine with that.
Give us your money. But we it makes going through games pretty. It's good. It's a good tool. Now, speaking of tools, Lee Mason was the video referee for Arsenal.
If they assign that guy to be the VAR on an Arsenal game again this year, I will scream.
Yeah,
he has disallowed a perfectly good goal for Arsenal earlier this year against Manchester United in our first loss of the season. It ended up being a 3-1 United win.
Yep.
That would have completely changed the game because it would have been the first goal of the game.
Yep.
And now he has allowed this Brentford goal in this 1-1 draw that we ended up with, when he spent 2 minutes and 20 seconds to judge if the wrong player was offside, and then looked at the player that was actually offside for 14 fucking seconds.
They did it again. It was happening at the same time almost.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I was reading an article today on ESPN's website about there were 3 possible situations in that goal that could rule it out. One foul, did Pinnock foul Gabriel? He didn't. So move on from that. Was Pinnock interfering with an opponent from an offside position? They took 2 minutes and 20 seconds to decide that he wasn't.
He was.
And they moved on from that. And then whether Christian Norgard, who's the guy that actually made the final pass to Ivan Toney for the equalizer, was he offside? They looked at that for 14 seconds. They're like, nah. But he was.
He was off. He was clearly offside.
So offside. I was watching this while they were reviewing it, right? I was watching live. And I was like, why is this taking so long? Why? It is so obvious that he is offside.
They're official when they were talking about the mistake, and they apologize, and like I keep saying, that
means nothing. $3.35 can get you an error today.
Chicken sandwich.
This year.
They didn't draw the lines.
No, they didn't draw the lines.
What?
What is the point of having
you have one job
to draw the lines?
You don't even have to run. All you have to do is watch. You have a pen. You have 2 things. You have a desk. Well, you have more than 2 things. You got a desk, you got a monitor, and a pad, and you can draw a line.
I understand sometimes if they miss a marginal offside from a player who is offside further back in the play. But when it's the guy that is the final pass to the goal scorer, and you miss that, and you take 14 seconds to look at it, don't draw the lines, and don't do anything, that costs us 2 points, and that might screw us out of the title in the end, depending on how the results go.
It's a huge 2 points that you guys missed out on, considering the matchups you have coming up midweek. Again, you could see yourself in a level.
We could end up tied. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I'm very mad about this. I did read a bunch of people calling for the Premier League to adopt the sort of like semi-automated offside technology that the Champions League uses, but that's going to bring back all the very marginal offsides because they map all the players and then it automatically determines there's no human error possible whether someone's offside, but then you get the offside by a pinky toe thing happening again, and I don't want that either. But there's got to be some sort of...
You're getting it with arms and hands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're getting it with shoulders. You might as well do it. That's what I say. You might as well do it.
You might as well.
Take the human element out. The humans are stupid. They're stupid like Lee Mason is stupid. And he's
There was a major offside in a game earlier this season in Serie A, and Serie A has now adopted the semi-automatic technology mid-season.
Yeah, it's not hard to do. The technology's there. They just have to implement it. Okay. It's horse shit. You guys got
we got screwed. We got screwed.
What did you think of your squad before this? Because they were fine.
We were fine.
I thought Brentford hung in with there.
Brentford hung in with them for sure. This is the lull in the season that I've kind of been waiting for. I didn't want it to happen the week before we played City for the first time.
No kidding. Who's gotten back to scoring again too? They haven't had the greatest run either in the last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Now Trossard, happy with your little pickup? Happy with your?
Yeah, I am actually.
I think he looks good coming off the bench. I think. Yeah, I
don't want him starting over Martinelli unless Martinelli gets injured. But Martinelli wasn't really in the game all that much. He wasn't.
I didn't like him.
He's a good option to bring off the bench in Martinelli's place. And he scored the goal, his first goal as an Arsenal player. It was a nice move. And I got so angry after that Brentford goal was not disallowed that I don't really remember much of the rest of the game. I just know it ended in a draw.
Yeah, it
ruined my day.
No shit.
It was at 9 o'clock in the morning and ruined my
day. Mine happened at 7 o'clock in the morning. But when it's still ours we're fighting for 8th spot or something like that. To have that happen at the top of the table between two teams that are really fun, like Brentford's right in. Brentford's doing fine. It's
Brentford's in 8th, I believe.
They're in 8th spot. Yep. It's you don't like to see the referee's job is to not be a factor. That's your job. Just don't be a factor. You can make calls right. Like, take an extra minute. Make sure you have the right call. 14 seconds. That's what you guys spent on it because you thought you were running out of time. Take the fucking time. Get it right.
The time.
This is what you're supposed to do. Yep.
I wouldn't have minded the 4-minute and 40-second pause in the action if they got it right.
You guys were giving us 10 minutes worth of time of whatever added on before the World Cup. Anyways, what's the difference? That stopped now. If you noticed, we're only getting a max of like 5, maybe, except for the one match or whatever this week. I think 7 or 8 minutes, but that is now a rarity. As before, it was becoming quite the norm. Now, that's it for the matches. You've got a big match midweek. Would I say if you won our little competition this week, wouldn't that make everything better?
No.
Okay, well, you did anyways. You won 4-3.
Okay.
I was glad that I did pick Leicester to beat Tottenham. So I was happy that I did that. But the rest of it all went to you. But let's speak of next week's matches. There's some goddamn doozies. Speaking of the biggest match in the Premier League this year so far, Arsenal, Man City. Who are you taking?
I'm taking Arsenal still.
No, okay.
Any
idea when Gabby Jesus is coming back?
He's in training. I started training, I think, but he's not going to be back for this game.
No. I was hoping I could fish out some information. It's just one of those matches where I see a couple goals maybe scored each, but I don't see a winner. I'm going to actually pick a draw right at the top.
Okay.
The next match, conveniently enough, Villa versus Arsenal.
How is this the schedule? How?
Let's get
I will
Wednesday
take
and
Arsenal
early
in
morning.
that as well.
Yeah,
I'll take
that
Arsenal in
one.
that as well.
I will take Arsenal over Villa by far. Now, the team that was the benefit of the shenanigans in your game, Brentford, at home to a team that was a benefit of shenanigans against Brighton in Palace.
Brentford.
The Bees. I'll take the Bees as well as they're at home. And then reverse. We got Brighton. This time against Fulham. They're in Brighton and Hove Albion.
I'm gonna go for a draw. I think they're both
Nice.
playing very well.
I'm gonna choose Brighton. I really like them, especially at home. I really like how Brighton's been playing. Now, we got good old Chelsea Football Club. Probably London. Where are they? Right over there? Right there. Taking on the now rudderless, once again, Southampton Saints, unless they hired Jesse Marsh in between.
It has to be Chelsea.
It has to be Chelsea. If it isn't Chelsea, that's all I'll say.
If it isn't Chelsea, we'll expect an epic rant next week.
I will be incredibly upset. Incredibly upset. Speaking of upsets, Everton and Leeds.
Liverton is an interesting one.
Yes.
I will take Everton simply because Leeds don't have a manager yet.
That's
Do
true.
they? I haven't heard of one.
No. No, they haven't selected a manager yet, and they're at home. But I do like the way they played against United. I thought they gave them a good fight, something that I think Everton did not have. So I'm gonna pick Leeds.
I think Sean Dyche is going to be very upset about today's game against Liverpool or Monday's game against Liverpool, and definitely get them back in some sort of shape for this game against Leeds.
At least they have someone to guide them. It isn't like it isn't your second team squad stuff doing anything. Now, Forest against Man City. Remember one thing. Forest does two things. They score off the run, and they win at home. But this is Manchester City.
Yeah, Man City, definitely.
Yeah, Man City. Forest. They're having an all right season. You know, they were in relegation form before. I think they've pulled themselves out of it, but they aren't getting any points on Saturday. Team that might be getting
I will be thoroughly happy if Forest somehow manages to.
Could you imagine? Oh, I could imagine. Wolverhampton Wanderers continue their good form at home against AFC Bournemouth.
I'll go Wolves.
Yeah, I really like Wolves lately. Now, this could be another big matchup this week. We got Newcastle and Liverpool playing at St. James Park, I believe.
I think I'm going to go Liverpool. I think maybe
Wow. All right.
I've not been feeling the way Newcastle has been playing the last few weeks.
I'm going to do something that we talked about in this show. Newcastle doesn't like winning games anymore, but they sure don't like losing. So they have more draws than anybody else. So this is a good time to pick a draw against the Liverpuglians. United get a chance to win against Leicester, coming off a big win over the Spurs. It's at Old Trafford.
I'll go Man United.
Yeah, I agree. Love that Leicester beat up on Tottenham, but I like Man U at home here for sure. And speaking of those wretched Tottenham Hotspurs, they finish out the week against West Ham.
I think Spurs will bounce back. I don't really have too much faith in West Ham in that game.
I hate both these teams. You know who wins? Nobody. Nobody wins.
Nobody wins.
But that doesn't mean a draw. I think Spurs is going to win. So I'm choosing Spurs. But nobody ever wins when you see a match of these two clubs go at it. Terrible.
Yeah.
But that's it. We did it. and I didn't even pull out any more hair. Hair's all in place.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. Thank you for joining us here today on Starting 11. If you are interested in helping support the channel, you can become a member on Patreon, patreon.com/LGR_network. $1 a month gets you into our Discord, where you can hang out with us and talk about things like these games that are coming up this weekend, and movies and TVs and professional wrestling and all kinds of stuff we cover on the network.
My live hockey analysis.
Yeah, join us in voice chat and get Snark's very interesting commentary as he watches Winnipeg Jets games.
Oh, the swear words I use.
That's very true.
In a good way. In a good way.
It's very true. So that's patreon.com/LGR_network. Snark, where can people find you?
You can find me here every Tuesday on the Starting 11. You can find me, you could try to find me on Twitter. Doesn't mean I'll want to be found. It's at Snark Yeti. I do next to goddamn nothing. Let's see, what else? You can find me hopefully sometime soon on LGR After Snark with our buddy Danny. Hopefully it's going to start up soon. Danny has some things that he's been doing, but hopefully we'll get some time. We'll go do that again exclusively on the Patreon. And is it true the merch store is going to start doing hats?
It is true. We do have hats up in the merch store right now. More hats will be joining those shortly. That's store.letsgetreadynetwork.com. And you can get Starting 11 merch there. You can get just general network merch there. You can get merch for pretty much all of our shows there, including now some Let's Get Ready Network hats, which is exciting. We've got dad caps, snapbacks, trucker hats, and beanies.
Beanies. Okay, for those of you who are Canadian, you know the actual word is toque. Beanie. Oh my God, terrible. Now, as soon as I know that there's a Starting 11 hat, I am 100% buying it. But what color should I choose? Should I go for the Chelsea-ish blue? Should I go with the green from the show? So many colors to choose from. Actually, I have no idea how many colors to choose from, but hopefully one of those two.
There will be some colors options available. We'll look into seeing which ones are available for the Starting 11 merch when I get that up, hopefully sometime this week. Perfect. But thank you, everyone, for joining us. We will be back next week to discuss a big week in the English Premier League and hopefully not have to yell about VAR, but probably have to yell about VAR again.
Agreed. That's right.
Goodbye.